The heat is on, do 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 do. The heat is on, oh 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 oh. Hey guys, MasakoX here. Okay, it's been about 3 months since I tackled this What If's last outing, but hey, that's 1 month less than the gap between part 9 and part 10, so hey, progress! Okay, I'm gonna stop that now. We are also progressing through the potential story that might have arisen if Goku ended up with one woman instead of another. Yeah, I know, it's a pretty simple change, but as you may know from the other 10 parts that we've covered on this series, this has led to very complicated results had Goku ended up with Bulma instead of Chi-Chi. But hey, ultimately, it was a very different yet familiar existence as we asked the question, what if Goku married Bulma? In short, Bulma had an impulse that she repressed back in the Piccolo Jr. arc of the original Dragon Ball. She saw that Chi-Chi was interested in the now grown-up Goku after 3 years of absence, and chose to let the princess have her prize, because after all, she had her eyes set on him for way longer than Bulma had, who only really had her feelings click into gear and into place really at the tournament. However here, she thought, to heck with it, and went for it, and got what she realised she wanted after all this time. There are clues to be had here. Toriyama just didn't realise, or didn't really pursue them, and just chose the most obvious route. It's not all doom and gloom. Chi-Chi ended up with Yamcha and Gohan was stillborn to Goku and Bulma, with the kid being quite a docile one for the longest time. That is until the realization of Goku's Saiyan nature, and when that became a thing, and Gohan became quite hard to control. This also put the marriage of the two into question. You don't usually see that in Dragon Ball, but fortunately, it all turned out okay after them having the talk. And I remember how you all were very scared of that scenario happening when I first mooted that proposition, what, like 3-4 parts ago? As for Trunks, well, he's had to deal with a lot, despite coming from a future which requires you to have to deal with a lot. So that's saying something. Now in the last part, 17 and 18 were left by Bulma, Krillin and Gohan to try and figure themselves out after having any memories of them being androids erased from their minds. However, Bulma couldn't disable their abilities entirely, or really at all, or any of their energy, and when she left them to it, she was hoping against hope that they wouldn't stumble upon said powers and cause any trouble, but they did. In a pretty extreme manner. They discovered them alright, but 17 ended up taking the, oh cool, superheroes line of thinking instead of the other, more nasty one, which I guess is a good thing? Either way, they are not much of a worry right now, as they are seemingly going to have to learn their techniques all over again, or even just try and figure out how to fly. You know, their energy can't be sensed, so it's pretty much a guessing game as far as Bulma's concerned. And as for 16, he has locked onto Goku and is making his way to Kame House, and due to him flying solo, he is right on their tail. He's cut out a lot of time. Speaking of the last part, I asked you lot in a poll regarding what would Vegeta do next. He can sense a group of energies flying in a certain direction, most likely to where that old man lives. What does he do? You said he would follow the energies, so I shall work that into the story, but will the prince be able to do anything about it? We return to the action where Bulma and her transport ship are speeding Goku towards Kame House so that he can recover in peace. But Trunks is nervous about something. Sure, 17 and 18 are out of their hair, at least for now, but there's still the matter of Android 16, who probably is stronger than either of them. And, yeah, he's programmed to do one thing. Unlike the teenage twins, who had rebelled and were pretty much doing whatever they wanted, 16 had his eyes on the prize. Bulma is worried about this too, but she cannot waver as this is important that her husband survives and pulls through, so that he can finally end all of this. With Vegeta now making a beeline for the group, Piccolo can sense all of this going down too and puts 2 and 2 together. If Vegeta is heading in a certain direction, and it's in agreement with other familiar powers, something is surely about to go down. Armed with the calm logic of Kame, Piccolo powers up and heads in the direction of Vegeta, who isn't too far away. The craft finally lands at Kame House, and the gang quickly get Goku settled upstairs, and are on high alert. If anything anything comes near the island, they will know about it. Meanwhile, Cell is keeping himself on the down low so as to not encounter Piccolo again. That was a close call. So until 17 and 18 make themselves known, all that Cell can do right now is to absorb as much biomass from the populace as possible, from unsuspecting citizens of multiple towns, pretty much just doing what he was doing already. And thankfully, because Piccolo's distracted, that gravy train of peoples is about to be made the most of. And in fact, Cell can sense all of this going down. He can slowly but surely sense that Piccolo's energy is moving away.
Excellent. This buggy is going to have all the hors d'oeuvres to himself.
Now let's head back to what 17 and 18 are doing. Now that they've escaped from the city, they'll have to make heads or tails about what they are right now. Just how did they get these powers? Did that green-haired woman have something to do with it? Well, the best thing to do is to at least try and learn what their limits are. After the initial shock of what he did, 17 is keen to test out his powers. He tries to fly as fast as possible into the sky, and manages to fly thousands of feet in a matter of seconds, and not even break a sweat. Cool! He flies back down and gets 18 to try this as well. She does so, albeit reluctantly, and despite having less enthusiasm than her brother, she can do the same thing. They can fly, emit laser beams, and have incredible strength. Now what? 18 poses this question, as it's pretty justified. Okay, well, now what do we do? What do you mean? Just what exactly does us having superpowers accomplish? Well, it's cool, sis. What else matters? You really don't get it, do you? All this comic book stuff doesn't mean squat. Don't you find it odd that certain parts of our memory are just gone? Exactly. It's like they've been deleted or something. Oh, come on, sis. Who cares? We got new lives now. Much cooler than before. We're fighting crime. You're unbelievable. The rest of this time is spent with 17 and 18 cluing themselves up with what their new lives are all about, as well as getting to grips with their skills. 17 being the one who is quite clearly the most enthused about this. I mean, obviously because he's the boy. Back at the house, the gang are trying to figure out a plan of action. Just how do they tackle an enemy they can't really sense and is basically unstoppable and can't be reasoned with seemingly? But Gohan seems to think that 16 can be reasoned with. He explains that if Android 16 was truly a bad guy, he would have attacked them there and then at the lab. Maybe they could try and negotiate some kind of compromise? Okay. Bulma credits Gohan's laudable theory and childhood innocence, but then says you can't really reason with machinery. Besides, Dr. Giro's capabilities and technologies were way less sophisticated than hers, so surely he couldn't have come up with a robot that could feel or understand human emotions, right? Oh, Bulma, you can be so arrogant sometimes, you know that? No wonder you and Vegeta shacked up in the original timeline. In any case, 16 arrives at the island and assesses the situation. He is watching the landmass down below from on top of the sky, and knows that they must be there, since this is the second obvious place Goku may be hiding, and that transporter ship down there is clearly parked outside the house. 16 puts 2 and 2 together and comes up with 4. The thing that stops him from raining blasts down upon the island though, remember he can do that easily with his Hithel's flash attack, is that there are innocent people down there, and he hasn't fully confirmed that Goku is present in the house. This could be a decoy. There is an energy that he can sort of sense with his not fully calibrated built-in scanner, but he needs visual confirmation before proceeding. To proceed so recklessly would be wrong. You see, Bulma? 16 does have a heart, but he's also determined. He waits to see if Goku comes outside. 16 is unaware that Goku is currently sick and bedridden, which provides a Saiyan a little bit more time to recover, and for another Saiyan to catch up. Vegeta is here, and he spots 16 just floating there in the sky. You! What do you think you're doing? 16 responds with the utmost lack of interest. Why haven't you ended that Kakarot buffoon? Son Goku's presence has not been fully confirmed yet. Therefore, action shall not occur. Oh, he's there all right. I can sense him. 16 looks down, and then back at Vegeta. Is this information accurate? Yes, you tin can! How many times do I have to tell you? Then I shall enact my directive. 16 is about to fly down to the island, but Vegeta grabs his leg and powers up to Super Saiyan. Where do you think you're going? 16 says nothing. You're not fighting Kakarot today. You're fighting me. 16 then goes still before suddenly firing an arm cannon in Vegeta's direction. The prince barely able to dodge it, him feeling the air displacement on his face. Now this naturally gets the attention of those down on the ground. Bulma looks out of the window. Oh no, the robot's here and he's fighting Vegeta! Trunks is shocked, but it's true. Vegeta's energy is present and it's currently in a state which is defending itself. Now what do? Their location has now been compromised. Where can they go now? They have no option. They have to go to the lookout. However, Trunks elects to stay behind to help his father, and Gohan follows suit. Bulma is having none of this and tells Gohan that he can't get himself in danger like this. Gohan, though, is looking determined.
Well, I have to do something. Dad wouldn't want me running away all the time. Besides, it's not like I'm fighting alone. I want to do Dad proud, so please, let me do this.
Gohan and Bulma lock eyes for a moment, and they silently get on with it. Bulma readies the ship with Krillin acting as a guard, and they make for the lookout. 16 can sense Goku's power moving away, and is trying to get away from Vegeta, but the prince is making the robot's life pretty hard. And its life is made even harder when Trunks and Gohan arrive to assist Vegeta. It's now a 3-on-1 fight between the three Saiyan warriors and Jiro's flawed prototype experiment. Defense protocol confirmed. These humans are defending Son Goku. Energy output maximum. As for Cell, he can sense all of this going on, and his energy is starting to increase bit by bit as each town is fully consumed by the Bugman. Nobody is around to stop him. In fact, he's beginning to feel quite confident about his skills. Now, poll time! What does Cell do here? Does he decide to go test himself against Piccolo and the others? Or does he simply keep drinking people, getting even more powerful with every little morsel that he consumes, with the hope of bumping into 17 and 18 along the way? Vote now, and this will play into the next episode. Thank you for voting. With the three fighters proving to be effective in keeping 16 distracted, Bulma and Krillin are tearing the motors apart, trying to get as much distance between them and 16 as possible. And what about that creepy bug thing that they found? Has that got anything to do with the situation? What's become of that? Meanwhile, Piccolo is heading towards Kame House, where he can sense three energies powered up. That must be where Android 16 is. He pauses for a second. Does he need to go and help? At the same time, he can sense Goku's fading energy heading in the direction of the lookout. With Kame inside of Piccolo's head, he feels like he may need to go and assist them, since Cell may decide to attack them at any moment whilst everyone's distracted. Hey, another poll for you because I like you. Where does Piccolo go? Does he go to the lookout to assist Bulma? Or does he simply carry on and help the three Saiyans? Or does he simply go back and try harder to find Cell? After all, Piccolo could provide major assistance for all three scenarios, so I feel that this one should be down to you with your valuable contributions. So yeah, this is where we're going to be leaving things for right now. Get voting. So what do you guys think? Do you feel that 16 could be downed around about now? Do 17 and 18 feel like they're acting the way they're supposed to? Leave a comment below and let's get this discussion going. And I shall see you in the next video. Catch you later!